Hey friends, welcome back to another Couch Cat video. I'm Paisen. This is Crazy Fi.
Hello.
We're Couch Cat, and we do videos for SimpleMMO, a browser-based MMORPG that's also available on mobile platforms. In today's video, we're bringing you the updated SimpleMMO Roadmap for 2023. Never thought it would happen. Maybe not.
Finally.
Yeah, maybe not never, but it felt that way. And like Crazy
Oh
Fi
my
just said,
goodness.
finally. And
Yeah.
this all stems from 2022, where a lot of major changes happened that were never annotated in the roadmap.
Yep.
So while they were cool, party systems, library, no one knew they were coming.
Stepping. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So Mike, the developer of Simple MMO, he does a yearly AMA, and just a couple weeks ago, he did it on Reddit, and myself and other people from the community were asking, is the roadmap going to get an update? And it did. He said, hey, look forward in January. Hope it helps. And here we are. So we're going to get into this. Crazyfy is going to lead us in with the first quarter between Jan and March of 2023. Let's see what we have to look forward to.
Yeah. Here, let me zoom in for us. Enhance. All right. So first quarter, starting with the NPC Encounter Collection. It says, Simple Edition. This just allows you to collect NPC encounters. A bit like Pokemon, except you don't need to catch them, just battle them. More diamond chests too. Cool.
I'm super excited about this.
Wait, hold on. You're excited about collecting?
No, I was lying.
Okay, I was going to say, I knew you wouldn't like this because you're anti-collecting for whatever reason. I think it's cool. I think it's pretty cool. There's like the completionist in me is going to want to collect all these NPCs now and
No
go to each town.
way, dude. No
100%.
way. Pull up your
100%.
collection right now. It's going to be fucking whack.
I have like over 2,000 things in there already.
Oh.
Not much, but I think it'd be cool.
I think
Yeah,
final.
it'll
I think
be
it's
easy.
lame, but you get chests and diamond or more diamonds. So
Right.
that's
Diamonds,
cool.
EXP.
Mhm.
Yeah, I will say the one thing that like it just seems like it's going to be too easy to complete, right? Like you just go to a town, you do BA, and then you move on to the next one. So I think it'll be cool if the event NPCs are included in this collection. That would be a lot better. But I think it'll be like a quick thing to finish up within a week for most players that play every day. All right. The bastard child of SimpleMMO, crafting overhaul. Description says, let's be blunt here. Crafting is shit. In fact, it's worse than shit, so much so that the game is being dragged down by the mere existence of this absolute monstrosity. We have plans to overhaul the crafting completely. What will this entail? We're not entirely sure yet. However, what we do know is that the gathering mechanics, woodcutting, mining, etc., will remain relatively unchanged, and the crafting mechanics will be significantly streamlined. So, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. So it's an important change that needs to happen. It was introduced into the game, and it is virtually you come into two players with crafting. One, they max it for diamonds. Two, you try to get to level 20, which is the max level, and you quit. I'm like level 17 and I gave up. It's just it requires too much. It's not fun to do.
It's worthless except for the diamonds.
And it's worthless except for the diamonds. Now, when they say we're not entirely sure yet, I believe them. Actually, today's the 14th of January. This morning we had a coffee stream, and Ubi himself, who sparked a discussion around crafting, he admitted they don't know how they're going to change it, but they want to. Everyone is on board to change this thing to make it relevant. And Yomu, first time guest on the show on the stream, he suggested it would be easier to create a whole new to add a whole new system to the game that relies on crafting without affecting the things around it, which would be like the wood cutting, mining, etc. Whether that means, you know, creating it's a whole new set of materials or something to collect to feed into this system to create something completely different. He gave an example of, like, say housing gets put in this game. Crafting maybe is a way to put furniture or build furniture for your house to get, buffs or bonuses, which is generally what you see in mobile/browser games. So that was just a example, and I agree. Make it unique instead of trying to see where it could fit. Make it unique. And I gave like an example because we'll see later in the roadmap, like the world bosses and stuff. They need to change, and they will be changed. It would be cool if world bosses dropped, a special material or what have you that's only specific to world bosses that you can take to the crafting system and create, I don't know, like Graven, friend of the show, he was like maybe like an amulet or another accessory or something like that. And it kind of creates a little ecosystem around the crafting idea or mechanic.
Sure.
But yeah, it's very difficult to think about what this could be, Crazy Fi, because traditional MMOs crafting, that's almost like the foundation of a game. Like
Yeah.
we played Elder Scrolls Online, probably the most convoluted crafting system in any MMO I've seen in a while, but it's there and everything feeds into it. Jobs, specialties, equipment, tools, all that stuff feeds in or into crafting and relies on crafting. So I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Like everyone says, there's a line here to keep it from simple MMO to complex MMO, and it's just interesting to see what they'll do.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is like crafting probably doesn't deserve to live in simple MMO solely because you could gather all the different items with each step you take, with each NPC you kill. Like, what incentive do I have to gather 3,000 shrimp to make a shirt that I could go find, just by stepping randomly? And it's such low stats for the shirt that it's not even worth it. So I don't know. It should be interesting. I'm nervous, right? Because this is for the first quarter, January through March. We're already halfway through January at this point, and they don't know what they're going to do with it. So I would expect this to shift to the right. I would prefer to shift to the right, push it to the fourth quarter, so that way you could have time to think about what type of mechanic you want this to be in the game and how it could fit into the game and still be simple. Because crafting came out and it was shit, like Mike admits. So let's take the time to think this through. Don't rush it. Be smart about it. But we'll see. Maybe
Yeah,
they already figured it out, but
yeah.
I don't
Delete
know.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Water break.
All right. So the next one, moving on to the next one, we have the mass gold distribution for guild leaders. So this is guild improvement, but not, I guess. The description is guild leaders can send gold to all of their members in one go using guild from the guild bank. Mike has written down on Gen 9. This one has not been merged with the guild improvements card because it is the only guild mechanic I plan to integrate in quarter 1.
Sad
So,
indeed.
yeah, pretty rough. I mean, we all want guilds to be improved upon because we feel like it's the best part of the community. I don't know. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, and I feel like we've hit this, we've nailed
Yeah.
this into the coffin.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh well,
I wonder how many
you get something.
people. Yeah, that is true. I wonder how many people have asked for this to do mass distribution of gold.
Probably the top guilds who are like constantly doing giveaways or
Yeah.
paying. You know how they do like the top steppers or PvPers, PvEers. It's like money. It's incentivized. So probably those type of guilds. But for the general run of the mill guild, probably not at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. Well, that's a sad one.
And there's another sad one after this.
Yeah. Storage multi-select. Pretty self-explanatory. I know if you go to the suggestion board, everyone's asking for storage multi-select. It's just one of those quality of life pieces that haven't been implemented for storage, but has been implemented across the board for everything else. So it's kind of, I don't know. I question that this is like a big update to add as for one of the quarters. So I don't know. That's just my opinion. Kind of worried there.
It could have easily just been like just added in, without making it a roadmap like focal point.
yeah, it's either like a revision or a minor update in my opinion. But all right. So moving on to quarter 2, which is April through June. The first one we have here is merchandise. And they talked about this in the AMA.
Yeah.
The description states, while this is not guaranteed, I'll be looking at the possibility of creating SMMO merchandise. Honestly, I think it needs to happen. Like, absolutely. He's got the fan base for it. I think it's really cool. So what's your thoughts?
Yeah, for sure. I want a SimpleMMO shirt. I want to collab with Mike in the future.
That would be awesome. Yeah, it's labeled as in active development. So I know the last we heard was they're looking at samples. So fingers crossed. I really hope this comes through.
Which we're going back to looking at samples too pretty soon, which is kind of funny.
yeah. So, yeah,
cool.
We'll see. All right, next one, and this is probably going to hit a lot of the Discord servers. Auction house. Description, pretty self-explanatory. Instead of a market where you buy things according to the price that the seller has listed for it, you can bid on items instead. The auction house will be used for higher tiered items, celestials and exotics. Yeah. This is going to crush all the auction house Discord servers for sure, and people will not be able to take a cut anymore.
I'll say this. It'll either prove that's better in the community hands and out of the game, or prove that it's better in the hands of staff in game versus discussion or Discord servers. I've talked briefly with people, including this morning's stream, and of course there's always worry of exploit, and the biggest exploit I believe is people buying an item and then just jacking it up and trying to resell and going through a loop, which I mean you can see that in any game. But the biggest thing is like the economy is in a bad spot right now, and I would say 80% of the items, or just 80% of the purchasable items in game, whether that's art, so like avatars or equipables like celestials and stuff, are just not. They're not like anyone's priority. Everyone's always looking at celestials. Everyone's always looking at commissions. Like at least the most vocal player base. We have no idea, the ones who don't speak up or go beyond the discussion board. So I don't know. I don't know if this will change anything or work out or make things easier for people. I mean, maybe it'll slim down the advertisement chat and the people who are using their profiles as like their store, quote unquote.
Right.
It gives them a place to like set up shop essentially. Depending on how they build this out, right?
Yeah.
But for the most part, traditional MMOs, every single one of them has had an auction house. New World's my favorite example because it was broken. But then you have WoW and RuneScape and stuff where it's perfectly fine. Just years of ironing it out. So very interesting.
I mean, treat it like eBay or whatever. Look at the other MMOs for guidance. I think it solves the problem where there's a gold cap on the market, so you can't go above a certain price. It's either $1 billion or 10 billion. I can't remember which one. And there are items out there that are going for way more than that for whatever reason. So this would help solve that as long as there's not a market cap, which I don't think there should be a cap on an auction house. I think this is going to help the whales spin their gold in the game, and maybe cause the distribution of gold to change. Hopefully, if the lower level players find those items, that's the biggest piece there. Though, if they don't, it's just going to stay within the tier of the whales of being passed around for gold. But I hope it gets implemented well because I think there's a good opportunity here to burn through a lot of gold.
Yeah, and I discussed this with Ubi. We hope that artists are able to sell their, avatars in there too.
Oh, that
So
would be good.
instead of, it kind of eliminates, of course, if you want something custom, you're going to ask for a commission. But like if you're just someone who like doesn't want to go through the process of reaching out to someone and get in queue, maybe this allows artists to just like they create a set, put it in the market, and then people can just be like, oh, this is available and grab it.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, that would be actually really cool. All right. Next one. Job overhaul.
Can't be homeless
Description
anymore.
says.
Can't be unemployed.
Description is jobs are one of the only features left from the old simple MMO that have been untouched since its conception. For starters, the EXP gold rewards are ultimately meaningless for players at a high level as they are static amounts. It's also needlessly convoluted and could be significantly streamlined. The code base is also a complete mess and needs to be completely rewritten.
Yomu, help.
Yeah.
Help us, Yomu.
I don't know.
I don't know how they'll change it.
Yeah.
I, for one, I'm still in the level, I'm almost level 20,000. I'm still in the level where I don't dismiss it. At least I don't dismiss Banker for the money. For the people who are ultra high level, you did that to yourself, right? You either bought your way to that level or just over time you just got there, which is not natural for most people. It sucks for you. But it is nice to see that he's like, well, this is a game that kind of stretches, so it needs to, it needs to impact all tiers of players.
It needs a scale.
Yeah. I don't know. I think jobs would mean they would make more sense if there were like a class system in this game.
Yeah.
Which there isn't, which is, core to an MMO. But again, it's like this game is super like simple. So yeah. I don't know, Crazy Fi. What do you even have an example of like what you'd like to see a job be in the game for you?
What I don't want it to see, I can start there. I don't want it to see that like the dex scales with your level, like like Rogue, where you get a boost to your dex stats. I don't want that to scale to like, oh, I'm level 20,000, so I get however many more to my dex stats. That would suck. So hopefully it just stays with the EXP gold if there is still EXP gold. Now I think it'd be interesting to tie jobs and crafting together. So you do a job, you'd earn some gold, you'd earn some XP, and you build a material, like you create a material of whatever that material is unique to jobs, and then you take that and put it into the crafting system to make potions or I don't know, whatever else you could probably think about, unique items that you can't really find anywhere else. I think that would be cool. I don't think that's going to happen though, but I think that would be the one way that jobs could be.
You know what
nice
you could do, which is just as complicated as yours for the scale of SimpleMMO. What if you redid the whole like tree, like you added a tree system, an unlock path for each job, and crafting wherever whatever the materials are, whatever the currency is that flows into crafting is used to build accessories or something that equips into, like, say there's like a job window, and each little thing you build and place in that job window, it's like a flat percentage buff to something. So like, oh, you built this whatever, now your banker job, you have increased percentage of gold on top of the base amount, depending on that level of job. So that's super complicated. That requires more tabs and more unlocks, but that's a way to make jobs more meaningful, to impact other aspects of the game.
Right. I
There's
mean,
no simple answer.
Jobs suffer from just like crafting does, right? Like this game inherently, like after a certain point, you really don't need them anymore. But like
Yeah.
the game, you could just get whatever you need from doing the normal gameplay loop. So yeah, I don't know. All right, let's move on to the next one.
Okay.
The last one for quarter 2 is party chat, and the description
yeah.
says talk to your party too. So that would be cool. I like that.
Yeah.
That's
A lot of
simple.
people say it can't be done. Moderation sucks, but Yomu explained it can be done. You could also you have varying options. You could add it as a tab in the already existing chat feature. So you have
Yep.
global, advert, guild, party. Of course, people say, well, it pulls people away. One, people barely use guild chat, which you don't know. You're not asking every player in the game.
Yeah.
That's an option. Two, which is kind of brings me back to like more older MMOs. Your party can talk in global, but they have like a highlight box to you, or like a color scheme's different.
Oh yeah.
So it's all in this. It's only to your party, but it's in the same. I think of RuneScape, right? Like when you're
Right.
whispering someone. I mean, any game you see the whisper trailing behind in global. Also,
That would get kind of confusing though with the way the
it
chat
would.
system's set up.
I'm not here to say it's good or bad.
Yeah.
There's also the option of, people say your screen's not big enough for chat in general when you're stepping in a party.
Yep.
Well, on the bottom of the stepping party, there's generally dead space there. You could code in a box there, and there's your chat window. There's a variety of options. In moderation, you just have to. It's on the back end. The mods will have to look at it a certain way. Yomu talked about splitting it. I don't know what that really means, but it's a possibility. I think a lot of people like it. The biggest thing is being able to talk to your party leader without having to go through a whole nother window of sending a message, what have you,
Right.
or just talking to your party in general. People say it takes away from global. Yeah, but I'd rather people talking in game in party chat versus going like removing themselves from the game to talk in Discord or something.
Right.
If I had to pick, one of the two evils, keep them in the game, because you shouldn't have to rely on Discord these days to talk in a game, which unfortunately that's like that's how it's always going to be now. But yeah, I want this. I want anything to do with parties. You know why? And I said this earlier. Crazy Fi, you said guilds are pretty much number one for everyone. I think parties can be number two. It's the next best social mechanic in the game.
Right.
So why not give it a chat or at least something more?
Yeah.
But that's what I got.
Yep. All right. Let's move on to the third quarter. This third quarter is July through September. The first one is the World Boss update. So the description states, World bosses suck right now. Its code base has almost... Holy crap, I'm losing the ability to read. Its code base almost hasn't been touched since its conception. The only changes have typically been performance improvements. It's incredibly unbalanced, and the values it uses are ultimately meaningless. Levels mean nothing. Stats mean nothing. Your equipment barely makes a difference. Wow. There's no reward scaled to your contribution. This will all change. Yeah, I mean, it would be really nice to be able to have it scale to a certain degree. I think it wouldn't be fair if Kin comes around and smacks a boss and he gets all the Celestials and all us lower levels get sticks. So I hope there's still that random chance that, the lower levels can get Celestials. Like, I think it should be scaled to your level. Like, you do this amount of damage based off of your level, you're really active, so that'd be really nice. Versus scale to how much did everyone do damage wise, because that's unfair to the lower levels.
Mm-hmm.
But I look forward to a World Boss update. That'd be cool. It's kind of clunky and ignored. So
yeah, they need we need world bosses that are special and tied to events. I think we need player versions of world bosses. So clone, Kin's profile or avatar, give him some stats, make him a world boss, just to get some of that like fanfare in there. I think that'd be
Right.
kind of cool. I think they need to be tied to something like crafting or what have you to make it worth it. Besides like the X amount of world boss kills just to get your award unlock.
Right.
I wouldn't even mind dabbling into a system like 2007 RuneScape, on the cusp of 2007, when they introduced like I can't remember the name of the mechanic, but like, essentially hunting. It was for pro memberships, but you know introduce world bosses that are just part of like it's a tier. It's all again. It's like another unlock pathway, and
Sure.
integrate world bosses intermingled in there, so that players are like, oh, if I want to fill out my hunter unlocks, not only do I have to go to Everwinter to go kill this penguin, or go to Least Mountain, or go to blah blah blah, I need to pay attention and snag this world boss. That again will maybe every checkpoint there's like diamonds or whatever, EXP
Right.
gold, just something to
Yeah.
unlock for completionists. Yeah, world bosses can definitely be more involved. We've played some games like Manastoria and whatnot that have world boss mechanics. It's almost the norm now. But I say we should look deeper and see what's very successful and what's not, because it's got to feel rewarding to do them.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
All right. Travel party task is the next one. So it's a bit like guild tasks, but for parties. Pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
My only hope is that Mike has learned how to scale the tasks so that they aren't
No.
impossible when they were first released, like they were for guild tasks. Because that was awful. That was just awful. So,
My
but we'll see.
my question to you. So PowerPoints are used for our guild tasks. What's going to be used for our party task?
Um. Ooh. Hopefully nothing.
Like
That
like gold
just
maybe?
just you. I would hope you just click a task, you accept it or something, and it's locked in for that time until you complete it. Maybe, I don't know. I would not like to see you have to spend something and then everyone leaves your party and then you're
Yeah,
SOL. That would
that
suck. Like
sucks.
you'd have to really coordinate. Like I think it needs to be done to the point where you could just have randos hop in your party and just work on completing and hop in and out.
Yeah,
That'd be nice.
it's bound, like it's bound to that player who initiated it, and then whoever comes along, uh they get some type of scaled reward for helping,
Right.
but it's on the player who started it, and it's doable with that player being the party leader.
Right.
In a way, this does help guilds because active guilds will have active parties stepping or whatever
Right.
for the task, for the guild task. So I wonder if they will compound. And I think this is great because it's it's beefing up the party mechanic itself. And I
Yep.
would really love, like, I know it's fun. The party system's fluid. You can delete the party, you can leave the party, you can rename, you constantly have new names and stuff, but it would be really cool. Yeah, actually, that's fine. I don't want to anchor it to permanent, but it would be really cool if parties could somehow fit on a leaderboard, like party leaderboard. So
Yeah.
if there's a party where it's like the same friends all the time, it doesn't get deleted. You can track their progress of how much EXP or whatever they're getting through these tasks or whatever the task is supposed to do. It'd be cool if that would tie into parties growing on some type of leaderboard and seeing what the top parties are.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. All right. Next one. The one that everyone's asking for. Guild
Until you open
improvements.
it. Until you
Yep.
open it.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. All right, general guild improvements across the board, such as further utility to guild alliances, quality of life additions, improved leaderboards, etc., and more. Dot dot dot.
He's done this before. What does that mean?
He doesn't know yet.
Yeah.
Either some like revolutionary change, or he doesn't know yet. One of the two. That's what.
Rotating and wiping or wipeable leaderboards.
That would be amazing.
Seasons to guilds.
Seasons to guild leaderboards. Oh my
Esports,
goodness.
SimpleMMO Esports, and we're your casters.
Dude, how many times can you tap really fast? It's like Pokemon Go tournaments.
Yeah. Oh my God, Beyblade has once again taking first place here with 500 EXP per second. Yeah.
Yep.
Whatever that means, hopefully it lays the foundation for more in the future.
Yeah, we shall see. That'll be interesting. Yeah, guild alliances definitely need to be buffed, so that's great. Everything else is just like, okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
So, all right, the final quarter, and as you can see, everything tapers down as we get closer to the holidays. Quarter 4 is October through December. First one being review travel texts. Currently have 40,000 plus pending community submitted travel texts to review. Not only that, we plan to polish and fix the existing travel texts that are already in the game. Cool. I hope this means there are quests like things you could do in travel texts. You know, like choose this route or this route, whatever. I don't know.
No way.
Some type of interaction instead of just adding more dev blog entry 59 million. I am now
That's
a
what's going to happen. That's literally what's going to happen.
I know. Look, a man could dream.
I think it's just either trimming out the ones that don't make sense and then adding ones that have been pending for years, and most of them are probably pending from players who do not play the game anymore.
Yeah.
You could make it really fun.
Fresh. Yeah.
You could do lore. Like Crazy Fi, you've said this before. Like, how about we have lore in travel text? How about we connect, this old man you met on the road, make him an NPC in a town or something. I don't know. It'd be cool, but it's a lot of text, and honestly, I don't even read them anymore. So
I do, because I have nothing else to do but read them.
That sounded so sad. I have nothing else to do.
When I'm playing the game, I'm probably on the toilet, or I'm sitting there like waiting for the dogs, or God knows what. So there's literally nothing else to do. But
your pants are down. It's just whatever.
All right, last one. Let's knock
bring
this
us
out.
in. This is the most anticipated. This is bigger than guild upgrades. Okay.
Russian translation.
Be
released in multiple parts. Part 1 travel, Part 2 quest, Part 3 UI, etc., etc. This is an ongoing thing and won't ever have a definitive end date. The card will be removed when the majority of the existing game has been translated. And we know this is something that he's worked on last year as well.
Yeah, and the year before.
I just want him to post the stats on how many players in Russia play this game. That's what I want to know, because that's what's driving this. I want to know like the percentage of the population in Russia versus the rest of the world that plays this game.
Yeah, I'm on the edge of my seat for this one.
Hey, I'm going to learn Russian this year. Or I
guess
to be a
linguist for SimpleMMO.
2024, I'm going to learn Russian when it finishes up. Yeah, so that's the roadmap, everyone. I'm excited that it's actually updated. So that's excellent news. I'm excited to see how these updates come out, because I know Mike always has a twist to things whenever these updates come out and we don't think about something. So that'll be exciting.
Yeah, he intentionally doesn't include the full scope of the update.
Yeah,
but he will do here's to hoping he will do a really good blog post for each of these. Because he does really good blog posts. But yeah. And Dill, where's that dungeon that you mentioned? Where is it on? Does it exist? Maybe we'll never know. But yep, that is the roadmap for 2023 in SimpleMMO. Glad to have an update. Glad to have something to look forward to. I'm still suspicious. On the full scope, and I'm also suspicious of if there's more that's not being put on the map itself, like last year. Even though last year was very bare bones. But this, I'm still wondering. But yeah, that's the video. If anything changes, we'll come out with subsequent updates throughout the year. We'll be monitoring this all the time. Trust us, okay? And we look forward to seeing everyone in the next YouTube video. In the meantime, like the video, subscribe, and head over to couchcatpod.com for more SimpleMMO content and merch, like what I'm wearing. Isn't that great? It's pretty cool. All right, I'm Paisen. That's Crazy Fi. We're Couch Cat, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.
See ya.